video of you watching Barbie in Kavya's car, bro.
That was because you
I
were
have a
showing me the
video.
video, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ground Zero podcast, the official podcast for Lobby Zero, the Ground Zero for gaming. We are finally on the episode number 3.
Yeah.
And today we have another one of our content creators on board. And it's going to be an exciting one because this is the first time, I guess, we're having a girl on the podcast. So that's pretty exciting. This is the first time we have had the opportunity to get into a discussion because I think the last time we had this conversation, we were talking about how this one's going to be an interesting one because she's just starting out in the whole live streaming scene, even though she does have quite a bit of a history in the gaming scene altogether, and that's what we're gonna get into just in a short while. So I would like to introduce Zara, also known as PurpleShrimp. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
Doing good today. Excited for this.
Yeah. I actually jumped in the live chat yesterday, and I said we were gonna have it yesterday, but we had some technical glitches, so we've pushed it to Monday. But then it shouldn't make much of a difference because we should be able to push this out hopefully by latest Thursday if we do our thing right, if Chris does his thing right with
It's okay.
editing.
We have like a lot of videos in the
Yeah,
pipeline. That's
we've
all.
got some time, but
Yeah.
but yeah. So Zara, I would also like to introduce my co-hosts. You've already met Chrislyn. We were the noobs that tried a game with Zara last time on Apex. But I guess one person that you haven't met is Vibhav. Vibhav is
Hi.
our intern, our extremely high performing intern. He's our content development, content strategizing intern. So he's the man behind a lot of this stuff. I mean, you've already, I guess, worked on a little bit of
Yeah.
scripting that Vibhav's done, right?
I think we did the biomutant video together.
Yeah, the biomutant things you should know. So
Yeah.
So Zara, I am just going to open up the stage for you a little bit so
Okay.
that you can introduce yourself for the audience and for to us. Maybe we are gonna get to know a few things we don't know yet. So go for it.
All right. I'm Zara Rebello. I've named myself Purple Shrimp. There's not much behind that name. It was when I was really young, and the only thing I could think of was favorite color and favorite food. So purple Shrimp it became. The very, very simple person that way. Right now I'm an Apex player, but I've also played Dota, CS, Valorant, and a lot of the other mainstream games. I love indie gaming. I love games like Ori and the Blind Forest, platformers, Bastion, Inside, Don't Starve Together, all kinds of different names over there. But mainly right now my main game is Apex. I'm obsessed with it. I am also an artist by profession. I'm in my 4th year of college right now, doing my thesis project in contemporary art practice. And what else? What else do y'all not know about me? I'm an extreme nerd. I love game lore. Game lore is a very
Okay.
important to me whenever I'm trying out new games.
Yeah.
And I listen to a lot of rock music. That's about as much as I can think
Rock.
of. Mhm.
So rock. I think the only rock band that I've listened to is probably Pearl Jam.
Linkin Park. Oh no.
Who hasn't had a Linkin Park phase?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Linkin Park. Linkin Park was my first ever foray into performance when I was in
Mhm.
6th grade. I had
Yeah.
2 other friends, and we got the drum set into the class, and we had a piano, like a keyboard, right? But we only realized that we were practicing in a good environment, but when we got it into the class, the sound wasn't controlled.
The
So
acoustic. Oh,
when the drum started going, I was like, there's no way anybody's gonna hear me. So it just ended up being a shit show. I was just screaming my lungs out. There was no intonation. It was just monotonous screaming of words. and that's it. But yeah, that was my Linkin Park was my first foray into performance. But
Imagining a tiny Isaac, just a small
yeah, it was not
pretty.
it was not a pretty scene. But I don't want to take away from your introduction. I felt like I diverted a little bit, but but yeah, so that's really cool. Like what we wanted to start off the conversation with was obviously because we want to have like a beginning, middle, and end kind of a flow. The genesis, right? The genesis of Zara Rebello. Maybe not that far back, but with regards to gaming, right?
Mhm.
With regards to gaming, that's the big question here because we're a gaming organization. I think the first question to talk about is probably how did you start gaming? Like, what's your first memory of starting out, and like why? Like, what was it that got you into gaming? You know?
Okay, so I have my cousin brothers to thank for this. I grew up with 4 cousin brothers living close by to me, and I was really close to them. Got bullied a lot by them, but they were really into games. And these boys, as much as they annoyed the hell out of me, they were my heroes, right? So whatever they did, I wanted to do, and they were really really into gaming. I remember my brothers playing Contra and FIFA all the time in their free time, and I'm just like, every time I'd go up to them and be like, "Can I try?" And they'd let me, try once in a while, and I'd be like really shit at it because I didn't have as much access to it as they did back home, and because I didn't have the PS, I don't know, I think it was a PS2. There was also my brother's computer, and I didn't have that at my place. And every time I'd go to their place, I'd see them playing at a try, and then every time I'd be really bad at it, and they'd be like, "No, you can't play because you're a girl." That's one thing that stuck with me for so long, and I'm gonna milk it because right now I can beat them in any game we try.
Yeah.
It's amazing, yeah.
That's
So that was
funny.
how I started. I remember sneaking games of Condition Zero on my brother's PC, playing this weird platformer with a gnome-like creature. I don't even remember what his name was, but I have a distinct memory of jumping off of icy platforms just to get points, just to jump off of platforms to get points. And it was so much fun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the
Wait,
simplest
Were
idea.
you
but it's
wait?
so
You're
fun.
talking about Icy Tower?
Icy Towers?
Icy
Yeah, I was
Tower,
gonna
Icy
interrupt. Yeah.
Bro, I was addicted
yeah.
to that. I
Just
was
a throwback.
addicted to that game.
Um,
Yeah,
When she
throwback.
said jumping
Back in
icy,
school.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
In
remember
IT
that.
lab.
I've
Yeah,
never
IT
heard
Lab,
of
I was
yeah.
so
this game.
nostalgic for that time. I was so
Yeah.
tiny then.
Yeah,
It was so much fun.
Chris and I used to be in the same school
Yeah.
when we were in middle school. And bro, like we used to like the whole batch was just multiple grades. Everyone's just in the IT lab, and if you were lucky enough to have that one IT teacher who doesn't really care whether you're studying or not, like you just go get an IC tower. It was on Miniclip, right? I think it was on Miniclip.
Yeah.
No, I think it was downloaded on the desktop. You
No.
just press
It
play,
was
play,
it
play.
was a mini game, as far as I know.
It was a
I
Miniclip.
don't know.
Yeah,
if
it
a
was
mini-
like a
I
freeware game.
I had it on my PC.
Oh, okay. I guess it's something you
Even
the
download.
IT
But
lab.
yeah, everyone was just playing it and comparing high scores and stuff. And yeah, I was
Oh, man.
addicted to that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But yeah,
think
you were
that's
saying
our first.
Yeah.
I think that's our first, introduction to gaming, right?
I've
probably
never
that
heard
and
of this
Halo.
game though.
I had Icy Tower.
Yeah,
had-
Halo
I had-
for me.
Halo.
What was that? Something madness. The
Midtown Madness. Midtown
no,
Madness.
Midtown
No,
Madness
no.
is the other one. There was another one in Miniclip where you're racing and like crashing into stuff.
Yo,
Dude,
I
I
know
don't
what
know if
you're
you
talking about.
remember.
I don't know the
There,
name.
there
Yeah,
were a
yeah.
lot of mini clip games.
Yeah. A lot of Miniclip was, I
Miniclip
guess, yeah.
was a whole other trip.
Yeah,
too.
that was the
Miniclip was
OG.
another trip,
That was
yeah.
like the OG platform, I guess. That was like the OG platform where we were gaming. But yeah, you were saying.
Then yeah, after all of that, after being introduced to it by my brothers, I used to play like these tiny games like Our World, and okay, I did go into like all the Barbie games and all.
Okay,
That was
so you had
that
that
was
phase.
fun.
You had
I
that
did
phase.
have that phase.
Okay.
I did have
Everyone
that.
had that phase.
Fun. It was cute stuff. It was cute stuff.
Speak for
Yeah, I
yourself,
used to
Chris.
dress up.
I never had that phase. Yeah, I never had.
I have a video of you watching Barbie in Kavya's car, bro.
That was because you were
I have a
showing me the video, bro. That was because you were showing me the video.
Bro. No one's gonna know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sim-
so
yeah.
I did get into a few dress up games here and there. There was a lot of different things on mini clip.
Right.
But when I got heavily into gaming
Yeah.
was when I got obsessed with Dota. Oh
Hmm.
my God, that game. Talking about it, it just hurts me inside. It's just ah. Okay, so I was
When was
obsessed with
this?
this was I think I was about 14.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was
Got it.
14 and I was obsessed with Dota for 5 years.
Whew.
A lot of my
Wow.
friends were playing Dota and they just, they like try the game out and I tried it out and I was hooked. There was no getting me off it. Like I think my mom loads that game so much because she spent like 4 hours a day on that game.
Damn. Damn.
Uh
Damn. Damn.
yeah,
But I
but it
feel
got
like you had one heck of a journey. You had even Dota had probably had like a beginning, middle, and end. Because now when
yes,
I hear you talking
it
about Dota,
it definitely did. So Dota
yeah.
beginning was just basic fun. So the game has a really heavy learning curve, right? So in
Mm,
the beginning it was just fun. It was just like learning a few things, getting into it. And then when I got really hooked, we used to be playing every day, pushing ranked and all. And I think the middle of the Dota journey for me was when Comic Con was in vogue. This Comic Con started up around the country in
right.
Bangalore, in Delhi, in Bombay,
Okay.
and that was a massive turning point for me in my journey as a gamer because then that's when I started cosplaying,
Mm,
especially Dota characters. Like since I was really into Dota, I wanted to do something Dota related for Comic Con, and I started off my cosplay with this character called Queen of Pain. She's like this really weird succubus character, very kinky,
mm.
very fun. So, the whole with the demon wings and the
Yeah.
horns,
No,
and I
we'll have post production on this. We'll show everything that
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so there was that cosplay that I was really excited about putting both the two parts of me, like my two passions, which are art and gaming, together. That was a
Right.
very important turn for me. And so then I started cosplaying as Dota characters, and I used to go to Comic Cons. And at these Comic Cons, you'd usually have gaming events as well. So that's where I met a lot of people in the gaming community. I met a lot of people in the cosplay community who are also in the gaming community. And that's where, my journey sort of started in
Got it.
esports as well.
Mm,
When I started cosplaying at esporting events like ESL and ASRG tournaments, things like that.
Yeah.
right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So I think that's the one. So I feel like your whole journey has a few chapters, and I think
Mhm.
cosplay is one of the big ones,
Yeah.
which we're definitely gonna get into. I think probably Vibhav is gonna dive into that a little more. He has a couple of questions lined up,
Sure.
but I think you know just to backtrack to something that you mentioned about when you were starting out, right? When you were starting out gaming and your entry point into gaming had a couple of these gatekeepers, which were your cousins, your cousin brothers, right? And the thing that you mentioned about how you're a girl, so you can't game, you can't do this, you can't that,
Yes.
and it's an interesting thing because um, today when I talk to people like I talk to different kinds of streamers or content creators or people who are interested in gaming or even friends that are into gaming, right? And uh, even people that I don't talk to, or I'm just on the internet and I'm listening to other creators talk about it around the world. um, it's an interesting thing to hear what the range of experiences are for different demographics of gamers and different demographics of creators. And I remember briefly talking to you about this and, kind of discussing if this is something that we should talk about or we should bring up or, address, and to what extent should we talk about it. And, I feel like you had a very balanced view about it. I think the fact is that um, as a girl game, for the lack of a better word, as a girl who games in a space that statistically could put you in a category that you could call, let's say, a minority, just
Mhm.
statistically speaking. I think it would be awesome to just find out, because I feel like, and this is me obviously, and I'm a guy, so maybe you'd have to discount my opinion, but like I feel like there are certain differences, there are certain pros, and there are certain cons, just like anything really,
Yeah.
when it comes to uh the persona Zara going out there. I mean, gaming is one thing. Like gaming is one world, and then going into content creation and putting yourself out there is a whole another world.
Entirely
And
different.
so that's something I'd love to talk about and see where your head is at with regards to what are the interesting experiences or your thoughts behind, or maybe if you do consider there to be like differences, and how you feel about them today. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I want to talk about what it's like being a female gamer. Now, when we look at just the gaming part of it, if I'm playing, I'm usually playing with friends, and I have received nothing but support from them. They are wonderful people, and I love playing with all kinds of different people, all kinds of different games, and I've received a lot of support from friends. But when it comes to strangers on the internet, which we're very often exposed to when you're gaming, when you're solo queuing, you're going to be matched up with randoms, because I play a lot of team games. So I remember what it was like in Dota. There was actually quite a few ways it could go if I would put on my voice chat, right? Because that was also a rare occurrence. It was only if it said like really needed, then I'd put on my voice chat. And there was a lot of ways that it could go. One way would be everyone be fascinated that I'm a girl and start simping for me. That's like the okay part of it. And then they'd be indifferent, which is like perfect. That's like the sweet spot.
The ideal space. Yeah.
Third would be them saying I'm a noob just because I'm a girl. For somebody, they're like, oh, hey, it's a girl, she doesn't know how to play, go easy on her. That was kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Because in fact, just the other day I was, and my mom's gonna hate that I said this, but she has been very supportive of my gaming. But the other day I was showing her a clip of me playing Apex, and she's like, it's such a violent game. I'm like, there shouldn't be many girls playing this. I think you're one of the few girls who plays. And she's like, Mom, well, but oh well, it's like there's prejudices against gender in every sort of field, and I feel like gaming is just one of them. And it depends on how you take it. I've received nothing but support from the people I know, from organizations, from the people that I've actually connected with in the gaming community have been really, really supportive of me gaming. And that's been a wonderful experience. And I don't think me being a girl has hindered my experience as a gamer in any way, because I just usually take these sort of things with a pinch of salt. Now going to the content creation part of it, I do believe females have a little bit of an edge over there, because I mean, I don't want to but you see that simp market it's always there. Like you can never stop it from hitting. Like I'm not actively going out and searching for that, but like it's just
a part of the it's a part of like what the universe. It just happens, right? It just happens.
It just turns up, and I just always have people coming to my stream and commenting about the way I look. I don't put on my webcam that often, so they comment about the way I look, or they say nice. And the thing is, they say nice things, so it's okay. But when it comes to, I'm sorry about this, unsolicited dick pics in my Instagram, that is where I'm just like, oh no, thank you.
Right.
Away from me.
Yeah. I feel like that is definitely an issue. In fact, maybe an issue that might not be addressed seriously enough, but it's just something that shouldn't be happening. Like
and it's hard to control also, like you have freedom.
Because it happens everywhere, right? It happens everywhere. It happens everywhere.
It's not even just gaming, female gamers, or it's just females in general. They just keep getting these, unsolicited
Yeah.
dick pics. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
It's
they keep getting
crazy.
all this stuff, and it's because guys are generally too stupid, for lack of a better word.
I feel like we're going into a generalization part, which
Yeah.
could get tricky. But obviously,
But
I
I'm
feel
just
like
saying, this is one of the experiences that I've had being at this,
yeah,
because this is what my gaming has led to it. Because I have these guys coming into my DM saying we're big fans of you, and then sending that's bullshit. I'm just,
right.
I know, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, so like that. So part of that conversation where you mentioned how like you haven't. I mean, there are parts of your journey where you've really felt the, let's say, let's call it a reasonable rift because of your demographic, but then at the same time, in the places that really matter to you, you also feel like um being a female gamer might not make much of a difference, and you also feel like um
so
that's how
it
you,
depends.
right?
It entirely depends on the situation. I feel
Yeah,
like in
it's
some
very
areas it
subjective.
has created a rift. In some areas, I've been indifferent towards it, and in some areas, it's actually given me an edge.
Yeah.
So it's like with anything, really. There are pros and cons to
Yeah,
it.
and I think that, I mean, and sometimes it's subliminal, right? It's subconsciously, like when I started off this podcast, I was like, it's the first girl we're talking to, but at the same time, the reason I wanted to say that was because I knew there were topics of conversation that come up specifically just like this
Yeah,
particular segment of this conversation wouldn't have happened if you were not a female. So that
exactly.
was something that we really wanted to tap into and have a chat about. But I think you've pretty much covered the extent to which you feel comfortable to cover it, and I think it's a big part. It's a big part of your journey, I guess. And as far as the ecosystem goes, not just in this country but globally, I just think at the end of the day, if everything's uh, approaching a space of inclusivity, then it's moving the right way.
Okay.
So yeah. So I guess now I would like to ask you about the grind that you're on now, which is Apex, right? The love of your life at the moment. You started Apex what in December is what you told me,
December.
right?
Yeah,
So
December
it's
last year.
you just
I
hit 6 months.
I just wanted to ask,
Go for
is
it.
you said you are a huge like lore head. So
Yeah.
basically, is that why you got into Apex? Because
Uh,
Apex has
so I really like Apex's lore, especially the whole inclusivity thing that you were just talking about. Apex is really into
it
inclusivity,
is.
and they are very gender positive. They're very ethnicity positive. They have people from all over the world. They're all about not whitewashing their games.
Right.
And that's something that I find really cool about the game. But essentially, the lore, I mean, it's fun. I just read the comics once in a while, but
Yeah.
I think for Apex, it's more of the adrenaline that got me into the game.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
wanted to
So
ask a question. Like,
yeah. Go.
for Apex, right? It doesn't have any story mode or anything, right? That I know of.
No,
Yeah, but
Apex.
So,
there is like a
so
seasonal
how?
lore thing.
Right. So how do you build like a lore around a game that's just multiplayer?
No,
Like,
so
because
basically these characters have like their own personal backstories, and the whole story gets narrated out through like the conversations that you have,
yeah, in game,
even
right?
with like
Yeah.
the ping system. You could
Mhm.
have
Wait,
like
what?
characters just yeah. So basically, if you are reviving someone, if like the other
Oh,
character hates the other character, they're just like, this is just a
Oh,
one time I'm
that's
helping
interesting.
you out and all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting how
So
they're
the
telling
characters
the
have
story.
interpersonal relationships as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for
right.
example, I think Crypto and Watson are seeing each other.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's like
interesting.
brushing Caustic off in a very wrong way.
Of course.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm a little
It's
disconnected from the lore, so I'm not gonna have
Same.
much
it
of
is
an
That's why
it is
I
input.
actually
asked.
pretty fun though, the
I've seen
Yeah.
way
some of
all
the
these
Yeah.
videos.
characters are.
Yeah.
There's also, yeah, there's videos of their backstories on the
Yeah.
internet, as well as
In those.
comics every season. Like, you can
Mm.
collect
Mm-hmm.
treasure packs and like new comics in game itself. And they have some really well
Yeah,
illustrated
this is
comics.
all.
Right.
I can't believe this game is for free. The amount of
Right.
content they
Right?
give.
That's crazy.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I feel
I
like
mean, the thing is like,
go on.
yeah, I used to like I'm a huge lore head also, but that's only for games like Halo, these story games that I'm already invested in through while playing the game. So then I want to know more about the game, what happened after the game, what happened before the game. So then I read the books, the big hardcover books, and I'm a huge fan. But that's why I never understood how Apex has a lore, but it's a multiplayer game throughout. That's why I asked the question.
No,
Even
so
Dota.
they even have like good cinematic trailers for like they call
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stories from Outlands, and it is
yeah. I've
so
seen it.
well made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could make its own Netflix series if they
that's what I'm
wanted to.
saying. Like in-game
Dota
content.
did.
Yeah,
Dota literally
Dota.
just did. They
Oh,
Yeah,
made
what is
their
it?
own Netflix series. Yeah.
What?
Oh
Do,
I saw it. I saw it. I saw it on
yeah,
I saw it on the
what?
Face
browsing
of Dragonite.
list. Yeah, Dota
What is
has
it?
a
Is it new? Is
yeah.
it recently?
I
I
think
think
it's
a few months.
yeah,
Oh, I
few
gotta
months.
check it out. Okay.
Yeah. No,
even
like
Resident Evil is getting like a
content
Netflix series.
that's based within games. I think it's leveling up right now because I feel
Yeah.
like and I feel it's beginning to get recognition because I think I was talking to Chris about this the other day. So we were it looks like a few weeks ago. Um, a movie that was made as a piece in the VR version of uh, which one was it? Medal of Honor actually
Mhm.
won an Oscar.
Oh
Oscar, yeah,
yeah, right.
How
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
is
yeah.
that? How crazy is that? So that was a live action movie.
that was also a Respawn movie.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
basically, again,
Mhm.
Apex team.
yeah, exactly. And I think you know the lore that they're building or the content that they're building around the lore of these different titles are also leveling up in terms of quality. And I think it's just a matter of time before they get recognized on the international, not just international, but
Big screen.
more universal arenas.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think people are recognizing the potential of game lore because
Yeah.
like you see the whole Dota coming on out with its own Netflix series,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves starring in a game like Cyberpunk, all of
Cyberpunk.
these.
Yeah.
So it's gaming's going mainstream entertainment.
Yeah. I think the
Yeah, and HBO
storytelling.
has a
Yeah.
bunch of the Last of Us and a bunch
yeah,
of other
the
games actually, TV show miniseries. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of exciting actually. Gaming is
Yeah.
actually getting its recognition.
Exactly. I think it's just I was actually thinking about this the other day. It's and in fact we were actually just developing the pitch deck for Lobby Zero, and we were trying to find problem statements and okay, what is the issue within this market versus other markets, and what are the voids in the market that can be filled. And one thing that hit me when I was just thinking about it is the for the lack of a better word, I don't even know if this is a word that exists, the underratedness of
Hmm.
gaming as a medium that can storytell
Mhm.
is a big factor. Because like now if you look at movies, if you look at the industries that are considered to be entertainment, and you have music, you have movies, and all these different mediums, um, they're actually given a lot of respect, and a lot of it's looked at in a very uh, legitimate way because
Considered
people.
culture.
Yeah, exactly, it's cultural and people identify with them, and they identify it as great sources of entertainment and being able to escape. I think what's missing now with gaming, at least, it's I think it's starting to happen in the West, and that's
yeah,
why all these things are happening. But even here, I think soon as we get a little more of the main stage, and by we are I'm just talking about the gaming industry. I feel like the aspect of how gaming can be the main platform for storytelling, at the same time adding on this whole other dimension of interacting with the story, is going to be like the biggest part. Like you have Apex and you have all the lore that builds around it, but then like the nuances when you're playing in that game world, and then you're, like you said, reviving somebody, there's a dialogue that's being said that's attached to the lore. It's all attached to the gameplay and the universe, and you're part of it, and you're in it, and you are it, and all these things. As it evolves, people will start, I think, realizing storytelling is storytelling, but then now there's a whole additional dimension that's being attached to it,
yeah.
that
It
you don't
it
get with movies or
it is
film
so
or
much like people don't understand yet about how hard it must be to
Right.
put like your lore and not let it hinder the multiplayer
Yeah,
experience.
I don't even think gamers really understand.
Yeah.
Developers probably do, but even we have a hard time wrapping our head around it, I feel like.
So, being an artist and doing these kinds of things all the time, like I really understand that narrative potential that gaming has because of
Right.
the interactive ability that you gain with that, right? Because
Yeah.
say take for example visual novels or
Right.
even Netflix taking up a visual novel theme with Bandersnatch and all.
Yeah.
They're actually understanding that this interactive sort of uh,
Interface. Right.
interface, yeah, is one. It does wonders for narration. It does beautifully with narration when you can actually make those choices. Do you remember there used to be
Choose your
those
own adventure.
choose your own adventure
Oh
books?
my god.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Essentially putting your gaming into your narratives. I
Yeah.
think
They have those titles right now. Like I was playing a couple of them. Erica is one of them.
Mm.
And I guess the one, what is the one?
Uh, Dawn, Until Dawn,
Anthology. Until
Until
Dawn,
Dawn.
and then the
Yeah.
Dark something and
The
anthology
Walking Dead. There's a
something.
lot, bro. Telltale
Yeah.
also, huh?
Yeah, Telltale is big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's I think it's just the beginning, man. Some great narratives, some great stories are being told. So just
yeah,
a,
like for example, have you played Life is Strange?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I've played
Yeah.
Life
Oh
is
my
Strange.
god,
Beautiful
I
game.
love the narration and that. It's
Beautiful
such,
game.
such a beautifully told story, and
Yeah.
you get to be inside it. You get to
Yeah.
choose what you're doing, and that whole
Yeah.
butterfly effect thing. Damn,
Yeah.
it really.
Are you excited for
Detroit.
the new
Detroit.
installment?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's
Oh,
a
they
new
have
one
There's
that's
a
coming out,
announced the
third
right?
third
game
one, right?
coming
The
out.
third game.
Yeah.
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 No, but the cool thing that I find with titles like Erica is people are even just right now exploring methods of incorporating live action into the game. So it's actual actors, and I don't know how they do the whole thing, but with Erica, you have the interaction with objects and the game world. I don't know how they do it, but you have these moments where you're able to interact with objects or open things or close things or turn things or like clear things up by using the touchpad on the controller, and it's real people interacting with real objects.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you Zara might probably have a little more context if you check it out, but I'm so
Even with
fascinated.
Until Dawn, right? Like the graphics and all.
No, but
I could
Until Dawn is not.
literally.
Yeah, but Until
Until
Dawn's
Dawn
not
is
live
still,
action.
yeah, it's
Right?
not live action,
Erica
right?
is an actual actress. It's recorded like a Bandersnatch,
Oh,
basically.
Yeah.
okay.
That's
So
the difference.
no, I mean
But yeah, I wanted
even
to go
on one
back to
one level beyond Bandersnatch, because you're actually you're able to
Interacting with things.
move things. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Yeah.
able to do things. Yeah.
I think maybe they record different things that you can do, and then feed you the footage
Maybe.
of what you have chosen based on your
Maybe.
choice.
Yeah,
Could be a
that's
lot of
what they
work. I
did
feel
with
like there's a lot of
a
work.
lot of
Bandersnatch.
work. Yeah, Bandersnatch, they did a lot of takes. I've seen like
Yeah.
I remember like there's apparently a few hundred ways you can finish the game, finish the movie game, whatever, the mini game. Apparently there's
Yeah,
so many different choices.
even
There's
even like the
chart, it's
creator has
massive.
no idea of like a
Yeah.
few of the endings now.
Yeah, yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah. So I think that takes us to what you're doing with Apex. Like you're obsessed with Apex, and Apex turned out to be the title you decided, correct me if I'm wrong, but the title you decided to stream with, right? This is the
Yeah.
first. So you started streaming when exactly? How long has it been? Last month, right? And so you decided to stream, and your first game, this will be in the history books of PurpleShrimp as the creator. Your first ever game was Apex. Um,
No,
but
actually, the first game I ever streamed was PUBG with
Really?
HyperX really, really long ago. Where I
oh,
did
okay.
a funny stream where I was on the keyboard and a friend of mine was on the mouse, and we were just literally just screwing around.
Wait, was
That was
this
a lot of
is
fun.
this on your channel? Is it on your
No,
channel?
it's not. It's not. It was on
It's
the
not.
HyperX channel.
Oh,
But that
okay,
is
okay.
the first game I've ever streamed. To be technically correct, that is the first game I have streamed on my
Got
own
it.
channel, Apex.
Yeah, so your journey as a creator begins with Apex then, is it? A content creator online. So now just to talk about streaming for a little bit. It's been about a month, right? And you decided to start. What do you feel like are the biggest challenges that you're facing, and what do you see being the challenges that are coming, as you find out more about the space?
Okay. Yeah, so my main challenges with streaming so far have been just assets for the stream. I've had to come up with a few things like uh, the description and all that, just writing down stuff, just finding funny gifs to start the stream with, to end the stream with. The technical difficulties, the fact that I don't have a webcam or a second monitor, or
Mm.
I literally just got a LAN cable like 2 days
Oh,
ago.
okay.
And so it's just these tiny things. The schedule, that's one thing as well. So it kind of like, when you want to stream and when you want to get big at it, you have to sort of have a schedule so that people know, when you're going to be online,
Right.
and you develop that sort of following at that particular time. It's a lot easier if you stick to a particular time. But life sort of just takes over that sometimes, and
Life,
that's
life,
something.
and life, and yeah, Indian electricity.
And that's oh my god,
Oh my
the
God.
Bangalore electricity. Oh my god, they hate me. I'll
Yeah,
be in the middle of a rank every single time electricity goes off. Like,
yeah, yeah. That's a
Can't
pain. I
imagine,
think.
man.
Yeah, I mean,
And even
Chris
like
doesn't know what we're talking about because he's in a very fortunate and privileged location. He's back in
for
Singapore.
those of you who don't know, Apex took a really long time to let you get back into the game. It usually basically, if you would log in, and like if like electricity goes or your Wi-Fi goes, you just get out of the game. You can't re-log in to the same game even if you are in there.
No, I mean that's how online
not
games
always.
work, right?
No, I
That's not
think like
always.
they've added a feature to like get back into the game now. So
Oh,
like
Yeah, so
PUBG,
sometimes,
COD, everyone was doing it, and like Apex was like
yeah.
far behind.
Yeah, no, I don't
Mm.
know. Sometimes I get in, sometimes I don't. I don't know what it
Mm,
depends on.
depends
But yeah,
on.
sometimes I can rejoin a game, sometimes I
That
just
that's like the only crucial fall of Respawn. They just don't update their games. There's like so many bugs that just stay
right,
as they are.
Mhm.
right. So, so what if you weren't streaming? Like, let's say, I mean, you've obviously decided, like you said, you need a schedule. It's going to take a good amount of your bandwidth, your time, your energy, effort, and you're going to have to do quite a bit of setup, probably even money, right? You have to spend a little bit
up
to
and
get
money,
exactly,
socialize, spread the
exactly,
word, be a
yeah,
clickbait or all that.
yeah, yeah. So obviously, it's something that definitely takes up a good chunk of your bandwidth. So if you weren't streaming, what do you think you would be doing? Specific, I don't know, maybe from in an art space. I mean, whatever your passion is. I
I
feel like you
would
have a
be
range of
working on
passion
my thesis,
on
which
your
I should be doing regardless. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for sure, for
I
sure.
would
But
be
let's say your
working.
thesis wasn't a thing,
Okay.
it didn't exist.
I'd probably be spending I'd either find a job or
Okay,
I'd probably just be spending my day drawing,
right,
painting,
right,
watching
right.
shit on Netflix. Uh,
Do you have artistic uh journeys into game worlds or characters? Like, do you try um
um, so it's mainly the cosplay side. I haven't really tried the game art side of things yet because I'm not very digitally inclined creatively. Like
right,
I do digital art as well, but I'm more of a traditional artist. I'm more of a crafter. I like sculpting. I like having things in my hands, right?
oh, okay,
Um,
interesting.
but I have tried a few things with character design. I really like the idea of character design because I like making narratives myself. So having like backstory for my own uh, my own characters and things like that, and
Mm,
then basing their design off of those backstories. It's the kind of stuff that you do in D&D and things like that.
right,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Go on.
with like so like you said, you've been cosplaying for a while now. I
Mhm.
believe like cosplay is still and this is completely a noob's perspective over this, but cosplay is still like a nascent
Yeah.
stage in this country.
It's
And
it's a very niche area for sure, 100%.
so like do you have any like certain difficulties with like how community is being accepted in India? and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
Okay. So I used to cosplay a lot earlier. I haven't been cosplaying for the last 2 years, but it's been 7 years since I started cosplaying. And at the beginning,
Wait, it's been 7 years since you started cosplaying.
Yeah, that's just,
Wait, so how old were you when you started cosplaying? 15.
15.
Okay, I'm so curious to know the first time you cosplayed, what did your mom say?
Actually, my mom was my start into cosplay because she used to dress me up
Ooh.
in these fancy dress thingies when I was a really small baby.
Oh,
Uh-huh,
okay.
Yeah, so that
And
I
she
think
just thought that's what this is. Like at 15 years
yeah,
old, you're like
it
you're
was just
going
a
back to
continuation of
it.
just
that. The thing is, my
fancy
parents
dress.
actually
Like,
helped me with my cosplays as well because both of them are artists. So
Ooh.
oh,
we actually work on my costumes together sometimes as well.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
actually so. If I decided to go do cosplay one day, walk out looking at Kratos, my parents will be like, "What the hell happened to my kid, man?" That's learned.
Yeah, no, my brothers made a lot of fun about me for it. Like
Right.
they called me a nerd. They called me so many things for doing cosplay. My uncle literally called it like when he used to explain it to people, he'd be like, "Yeah, she does this fancy dress thing," and I'm just like, "Oh no."
Yeah, but
You
I
gotta
mean,
sell it.
honestly, for some, I feel like for someone who decides to get into cosplay and like go the mile, they already have enough thick skin to deal with all that. I feel like.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I have spent 13 hours in a costume, sweating and in a crowded convention hall and
Oh
just
boy.
Are these
walking from end to
are
end.
these usually just like pop culture cosplays or pure Dota and just other
I
games?
do some pop culture, some anime, some gaming. It
Oh,
depends on what I feel like. I've actually even done the Cookie Monster once. So yeah.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
I would like to see photos of these, man.
It
I
was
would
a
like to
classic
see.
Cookie Monster in a dress, but yes.
We can actually put them up, while she's talking about it.
Post production.
I'll
Post-production.
send it to you.
Yeah.
Nice.
from what I personally know, so I've been attending Comic Con for a while now with a few of my friends, and they are a lot into cosplay. I personally haven't yet cosplayed. Someday I might.
Vibal,
Uh,
if you were to cosplay, which character would you go for?
right now I have no idea, but I'm seriously into MHA, My Hero Academia. So I do want to cosplay as at least maybe Kaminari. There's like this one
Oh,
electric
yeah.
character.
So wait, I'm completely lost here. Like,
Yeah, I don't
is
know
this
who-
An
anime?
anime character.
Anime
Anime.
character.
Ah, okay.
Otherwise it would just be
Naruto.
Master Chief.
Master
Ah,
Chief.
nice.
I badly
I like
want to build that
I like that answer.
armor once.
Bro, I'm trying to buy that armor for cheap, but I'm trying to get that whole suit, Maybe
Apparently
like
they used to like give off these
I love
helmets
how
with
we
like
added
Halo
for
figures.
cheap.
Cheap.
It's not easy. It is not cheap.
Yeah, cosplay is pretty expensive, which is
Oh my
probably
god,
why
it's
I've
so
never.
expensive. It is a very expensive hobby.
Zara,
Yeah.
what's your so far? What has been like in the gaming space? What has been your favorite like have you cosplayed character from Dota or?
Okay, no. So my favorite cosplay so far has been Domino from the Marvel universe.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
right.
But
But the one
Such a
of my cosplays that has got the most accolades is my Vengeful Spirit. She's a Dota character.
oh,
I
okay.
actually went for ESL genting a few years, 2017.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember the year, but yeah.
You got flown out for that, right? That must have been crazy. That must have
No,
been
it's
a
not
crazy
fun.
feeling.
That is
Right.
sick.
Yeah, that's validation. That's validation of another level. Honestly, if I knew I could get flown out to places like Genting for cosplay, I would have started long back.
I mean, you
But,
could still pull off like a decent Kratos cosplay.
Yeah,
with the
you
way
already look like Kratos. You are cosplaying, man.
I look like a receding hairline, balding Kratos, probably.
But
Kratos is
seriously,
bald though.
if we're ever in the same city, I'm gonna do some makeup for you guys.
Yo.
Like, I'll do some cosplay.
Yeah, I
We,
feel
we
like
should totally do like a
yo, I feel
Lobby
like the
Zero team.
whole Lobby Zero crew
Oh
should
no.
Needs to
should
have a
have
cosplay
like
next week.
cosplay like
So,
setup.
so you're giving my
I
parents
love
reason
that.
to be like, what the
No,
F
they
is
don't.
going on with my
No,
son?
they don't have to know. You fly down for a couple of months, and they don't have to know about. You tell them I got business stuff to take care of, and then they check
And
your
then
Instagram. They
we
check your
will have
Instagram
LAN
stories.
parties and cosplay parties.
Yeah, exactly. They check your Instagram stories, and you're walking around with face paint on, and then they'll be like, "What's going on?" But
this
yeah,
is purely for business purposes.
business purposes. Getting the
Absolutely.
people to know
100% professional.
exactly,
Exactly.
exactly.
We are trying to get flown to other countries.
Honestly, yeah,
India.
as a crew, if we could get flown out, that would be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, but so with Domino, I mean she's such a isn't she the character that you have on your channel also?
I have posts on my Instagram. I don't think I have it
No,
on my.
I think he's talking about your
YouTube channel.
your YouTube channel. Actually, no, you have another one now.
I have a
Oh,
different one now.
Your Instagram DP?
No.
No.
maybe
Okay.
I've seen
I have
that
posted
cosplay
Domino
channel.
on Instagram though.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
So circling back to like games, and you said you like indie games. So what was like your favorite indie game so far? For me, it's been Celeste.
Ooh.
It's not like it's not talked about a lot, but it's still
Tell me a little
pretty
more
good.
about Celeste. I don't know what that's about.
It
I
is
love
like a proper platformer, but
Okay.
it's just done very well, and I really like the music. Also, for me, Celeste stood out in a year when Spider-Man and God of War
Wow.
both
They
released.
got undershadowed, huh?
Yeah,
Have
I
you
mean,
played Gris?
if you watch like the game awards for that year, there's like Assassin's Creed, God of War, Spider-Man, and then just like an indie game Celeste standing for like the game of the year.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
nominated?
yeah, it was, and
Whoa,
then like God of War won it.
of
Right.
course. But
Yeah,
whoa.
obviously. Celeste won in like the independent game category and like
Right,
some
right.
music or something like that.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you tried Gris? Gris is also really beautiful.
I'm not
Chris?
GRIS.
Ah, okay. Talk about the
like
game. Beautiful game.
the last
My
indie
name.
game I actually was very inclined to try, but I haven't yet. Is Before Your Eyes, and that
Mhm.
game has like this cool mechanic where basically if you it tracks your eyes, and if you like
Oh.
happen to close your eyes, time moves forward. So when you
What?
open back, it's yeah, basically it is like a narrative from somebody who's dying, and it's like
What?
telling that story. When you like close your eyes, time moves ahead. When you open it again, it's
That's
the
crazy.
next scene.
Yeah, that's
Whoa,
really
that
cool.
Hmm.
sounds damn interesting.
So you
Yeah,
It
I
need
want
is
to try it.
actually.
you need the equipment, the eye
Uh,
tracking stuff.
so basically, your webcam works,
Okay.
but if you have a shitty webcam like me, you could just put it on a click setting.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the latest indie game that I've played was I think
Nightmare.
no, I've no. The latest indie game that I was really sucked into was The Long Duck. It's like this game that's set in what's the in Wyoming. I think it's set in Wyoming, in the States, and it's like this like just complete a vast snowy wilderness, and you're this character whose plane crashed and you're trying to survive, and it's like a survival, it's an indie survival game, and basically you need to get food, you need to camp, you get trying to get back to, I think, you were in the plane with your wife, and you both got separated somehow, when it crashed, so you're trying to get back to it. But that was the music, the soundtrack in it was amazing, and it was so immersive. So this was back when I was, I think, towards the end of college, when I used to get stressed out. I used to just jump on this game, turn off all the lights, and it was just so relaxing. But then it had elements in it that would really get you panicky, because if you run out of your resources or whatever, you slowly start dying, and they also have wolves in the game, and you have to, make your own weapons and try to stave them off and stuff like that. So Long Dark is probably the last interesting game indie
Do you
game that I
like
played.
survival games?
I don't know if I really have a thing for
Have
it. To
you-
a degree, yes.
Have you heard of
Try
this
Forest.
indie game called Minecraft?
I've tried Minecraft with my little brother.
I
Yeah.
heard of that. Yeah.
Forest, you were
For
saying
me-
the Forest, right?
Yeah, Forest. You should try
Yeah.
Forest if you like survival games.
Right. Yeah. I've
Um,
seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't like a sequel planned for this game?
Forest 2, right?
Yeah.
I think it's that.
Sons of Forest or something like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was checking out this game. Like I got Xbox Game Pass recently for $1 for 3 months. By the way,
Okay.
steal, insane. So I was checking out the game, checking out the games in the library, and I found this game called Genesis Noir. I don't know if it's an indie game or what, but the story behind it looks so crazy. It's basically, if I can remember correctly, it's about this guy who's stuck in a love triangle with this other two beings, and some jealousy, leads to someone shooting somebody, which causes the Big Bang, and now life has started. Some mad shit like that. So now you play as the character who I guess got shot at or something, I don't know, who's now journeying through time to find a way to make this not happen, undo the mistake of the Big Bang.
Right.
So it's
wow.
pretty
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try it out. But yeah.
What about you, PurpleShrimp? Or should I call you Zara?
Anything works. PurpleShrimp works. Most of my friends call me Purple or
Yeah.
Shrimp.
Purple.
I can imagine someone saying Zara and you're like, call me Purple Shrimp.
No, I don't mind Zara either. It's a cute name. No, it's short, easy to
Yeah.
remember.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's a really cool name.
So for me, as I said, the game to put off the lights and relax to was Ori and the Blind Forest. I
Right.
love,
Mhm.
love the graphics in that game. It's so cute. It is so intense. The music, the soundtrack, even all of the colors, the themes. I really love that. It does get intense sometimes, but yeah, for me, one of my favorite indie games has been Ori and the Blind Forest. I actually have to try Ori and the Will of the Wisps yet. I haven't.
That's like the part of indie games, they nail the aesthetic and atmosphere
Yeah.
so well.
Yeah.
For me, okay, this is a mobile game, so like that's usually a turn off for a lot of people. But it is developed by the same guys who made Journey for PS4.
Oh, Sky.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
it's
Sky.
Sky,
I
and it's
love Sky.
amazing. It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
You-
Oh my god, Isaac, Chris, you guys have to try Sky.
yeah,
It's like-
and also this
Right.
is a multiplayer game.
Oh.
I mean, I have like this dude
Oh.
bro friend who rarely likes any games besides like a multiplayer shooter, and he was like mind blown by like how good
Oh,
Sky was.
so it's multiplayer. Like
It
three
is-
people can play.
Yeah, but it is just like you get on with your friends, and that just makes the game a bit easier. So you can at least absorb the atmosphere a
Right.
bit more. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it is just grueling.
you can
to
go
get
solo as
atmosphere.
well, but you can also go with your friends, and it's easier when you go with your friends.
It was
Yeah,
on the-
and
it was
it's
on the
it's
phone?
actually much more fun also. Like there's all
Yeah.
lots of emotes,
Definitely.
very cute emotes.
We
Cool.
could do a gaming nights on
Yes,
Sky.
we can totally. We can totally. You guys should check it out. It's so beautiful. You can literally just fly around and just.
And
look
it's a mobile game.
amazing.
It blows my mind every time when I think that they put all of this in a mobile game.
Yeah.
That's really
Right.
Made by
Yeah.
that game company.
Yeah, the ones who made
Journey.
Journey, Flower.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll just check it out.
So Zara, basically, you started streaming a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about like the HyperX video with like PUBG.
Yeah.
So like that why you decided, streaming might be a good thing?
No,
or
not really. The whole HyperX thing was really long ago at an event. It was a random thing where I just
Ah.
made a few friends at the HyperX booth, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to stream for us?" I'm just like, "Okay, cool." And I went and I streamed for them, and that was like all just fun and games. The whole streaming right now, sort of started because my friends were just like, "Yo, why do you stream?" And I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay."
Let's
Such a-
just
such
help
a-
each other grow.
Such a profound backstory to it. Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
literally just a random decision because I was like, I thought I was playing 4 hours every day anyway, and I'm like pretty comfortable in front of an audience usually. So I'm just like, yeah, try it out.
Yeah, let's validate our game time. At least
Yeah,
make money
I
on
feel
the
like
stream.
a lot of people are getting into the whole streaming content scene now that they're also spending a lot of time at home. And I think, I think we were talking about this the last time when we were having a chat with Sid. We are talking about how, we are essentially in a very similar setting to, even when I was working, right? Now I spent about, I mean, I guess close to a year working from home because of the pandemic. And I'm basically looking at people on the computer screen. I'm talking to people on the computer screen. And I'm talking through all these different peripherals that took the general public one step closer to essentially, you know, creating what it would feel like to be a creator on, I mean, still very far away from that because the level of effort that goes into, I guess, being a content creator should be like, a paradigm shift. But still, people, I guess, got a little more, um, I guess, 1 degree closer to what it is to create content and use these peripherals as, um, platforms to consume and
Yeah,
create. Yeah.
I think so. I think with TikTok going famous, that became a thing as well.
Right.
Because people
Right.
started creating a lot, and then the whole real thing on Instagram, people started creating a lot of content.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I guess, yeah. When the access to the ability
Platform.
and the tools to create, right? And these are platforms that have now uh, gone the extra mile to make anybody feel like they can cut, stitch, snap, and do their thing and push a piece of content out. Whatever the degree of polish is on it, like at least any person can feel like that. And I feel like now that we're spending a lot of time at home, and maybe there might be a good amount of time that's freed up, maybe because you're not traveling, or you're more energy because you're not moving around or stuff like that. People might be turning into these directions and doing more creative work online. So yeah, I get that.
Definitely. Yep.
Cool.
I
So
mean,
I
but
guess.
it's not like an easy thing to do anyways either, right?
Oh yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
considering you shifted
But
from gaming to streaming, you must have like, faced certain amount of, you know, difficulties getting
yeah,
into it.
for sure. You have to create montages. You have to, which I
Mhm.
haven't gotten to yet. I will get there. I just need to finish my thesis. That is all. I will get into the whole streaming thing as soon as my thesis is.
What's this fabled thesis about though? Tell us a
Oh
little.
my god. Please. Oh my god. Long story. It's about so it's a stop motion animation
Oh,
on my take, me and my partner's take on an Urdu dastan, an Urdu oral story called Tilis Mein Hosh Ruba. It's about magic and war and trickery and some beautiful themes. Yeah.
Really cool.
that
Really
sounds
cool.
so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool. So yeah, stepping away from the whole gaming world for a second, what are your other hobbies? Basically, that's gaming.
As has been the theme through this whole thing, art, definitely 100%. Um, I love music. I play the drums. Not
Wow.
very well. I have just started, but I get by.
Yeah,
And art, of course, I draw, I paint. Whenever I find a piece of paper, you will always find me scribbling, doodling.
I've seen I've seen your doodles on
Yeah.
Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, I post a lot of stuff on Instagram as well. Um, then I also like watching random stuff on Netflix, hanging out with friends on Discord. We play these dumb multiplayer games like Codenames and Gang Beasts and have you heard of Scribble.io?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, those
Yep.
kind of things. So that's what I've been doing with my friends.
Have you heard of Jackbox Party Pack?
Oh yeah. I was about to
It's
get it the other day. It's on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah,
what?
it is basically only one of you has to own
have
the
it,
actual
and
game,
everyone
and
else can
then
sign in through the browser, right?
yeah,
And do their thing.
Oh,
it's
Yeah, it's pretty
pretty
cool.
fun. It's like a
You can try it
house
out.
party.
crossplay
It's
technically.
It is.
yeah, pretty much.
We
Pretty
should do
much.
like a Lobby
We should
Zero
have like
party
a
packs.
Lobby Hero gaming nights where we try out all these small, tiny games like Gartic Phone, Scribble,
Yeah.
all of
Yeah. Yeah.
should.
You know,
Definitely.
honestly, yeah. So there's this whole thing where I think we've been looking at, I mean, I've been looking at 100 Thieves as well. And 100 Thieves content strat also covers a lot of games and activities that, I mean, they're obviously fortunate enough to have a content house where they can do all these crazy stuff and they can organize all these different things. But I think party games like this and like the smaller ones where, you know, more people can come in and join and just have fun, this is
yeah.
probably the alternative for people who are trying to do this remotely, you know, and like
Yeah, we
the
could
whole
just play some
yeah
Among Us on Discord.
yeah we
I actually
could
want to. I haven't
yeah
played in a while.
I actually haven't played that game at all. I haven't
What?
played Among Us at all.
What?
I've
What?
for
Blasphemy,
some
bro. Blasphemy.
Have you
no
played Mafia before though?
Mafia,
Mafia?
like
Mafia, you
the
mean the
the Take Two Mafia.
No, I
yeah,
don't think.
No,
I don't know.
like the physical game Mafia where you have
No.
like two killers, two
Yeah,
mafias,
it's
Oh, the
almost
wolf.
two
like a
players.
physical
Whoa.
party game.
Wolf, is
Something
it?
that we
Oh,
Yeah.
haven't had in like 2
there's different
years.
names to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I haven't played it.
Okay, so yeah, Among Us similar. You should try Among Us
Dude,
though.
Zach. Yeah,
I don't know
How
why.
are
bro.
you?
I don't know why I didn't get into it. Like I saw and I guess I have this thing where, and I
Doesn't
think
have.
it's general. Like everybody else is into it,
So I wanted
and
it.
yeah, because I feel
And
like everyone's doing it.
I'm
I
sorry,
just
guess
this game doesn't have a story mode. I
whoa,
can't
but
get into it.
I mean, come on, I got into it. So it's actually good.
yeah. I don't know. I
I
just never.
bought this little baby.
I mean,
Little
I think I
baby
tried
thing.
it once. I tried it once with a few friends, but I think my mindset, I was just too lazy or tired to learn the rules. So I was like, I don't get this. I don't
Bro,
know what's
it's too
happening. And I
basic.
just
What is that to learn, bro? Like one of you kills, other group members just work on shit, bro.
don't try to explain to me now. It's not gonna work. I'm not in a mindset to learn right now.
We'll have like a change Isaac mindset live stream.
Yeah, that can be the episode. Yeah, that can be the episode.
I'm sweaty Among Us. I will wreck all of you.
Ooh, damn.
Okay,
Challenge
now
accepted.
that I've been called out, I'll learn it. I will study it, and I will become the Liam Neeson of Among Us.
It'll be so funny if he's the imposter the first time he plays it. He'll be like, guys, I killed somebody. What do I do now? What are the rules?
No, that's the thing. I had that moment in the first game. I was like,
Oh no.
yeah, I had that moment. Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, that's not how you play the game." I was like, "Fuck this," and I left.
Don't you kill people? Isn't that the goal?
So yeah, but you know, talking about the whole thing about art, like, what was the moment that you made the shift where you were like, okay, cool, this is what I'm gonna do, like with my, you know, higher education or whatever. Like, this is a shift that I'm gonna take because, you know, we're Indian, we're brown, and there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. And I think there's a subset of the population that's fortunate to have parents and an ecosystem around them that's very supportive of the things that they want to do. But also, I guess there's a majority of the population that will ask a lot of questions when you say, "This is what I want to do." And there's going to be another subset that doesn't understand what you want to do. You know, like, I don't think my parents still understand what I'm doing with Lobby Zero. Like, they have no idea. And I feel like I'm too lazy to explain as well. But with art, like, what was the point where you were like, okay, cool, I'm not going to be taking the path of, you know, science or commerce or this or that, and art is the place that I'm going to get into?
Okay, so I've always been an artist. I've been drawing on the wall since I was 2 years old, and my parents let me because they're
Right.
also artists. So I
Got
had
it.
that support system. I had
That's
that,
dope.
and that's I get my artistic abilities from them, and
Got it.
art and music, art, culture, all of these things have been a massive part of my upbringing as well. Like my parents always gave it like importance, and they took me to art museums, showed me beautiful paintings, showed me it sort of integrated in me as a human being, right?
Right.
And I've always been creatively inclined. And while in my 10th, 12th grade, I was having this sort of indecisive phase because I was actually really good at science and math. But I was also really into linguistics because I was doing French language and literature. And I was thinking of taking linguistics forward as my career because I find languages very easy to get. The whole concept of linguistics was very interesting to me. But then I sort of took a year to decide. After my 12th grade, I took a break here because I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life because I had so many different fields that I was good at, so many different things that I found interesting. So I took a year off, and my parents, of course, were very supportive. They were like, take your time. We understand that this is your future that you want to decide upon. And in that time, I was working with AFK, I was doing cosplay, I was gaming, I was doing a lot of these things, right? And then random person I met at a cosplay event told me about Shrishti, about the college that I'm in right now. And it just seemed like the right thing for me because, again, like I said, always been creatively inclined. And when I saw that they had a contemporary art course, an art course that allowed me to explore all sorts of physical medium that didn't restrict me to a certain medium or a certain field of design, like, to be honest, I kind of loathe design because design is like the meaning part of science and art. When I do art, I do it for expression. I do it for myself. I do it for these sort of purposes. I don't have, I have aesthetic purposes more than, functional purposes. So design for me has always been a little more difficult. And those are the kind of things that I was seeing around India. I was seeing a lot of design courses. I wasn't seeing many art courses in specific. So when I saw this course, I was like, this is something that suits me. This is definitely something that I want to do. And if I can, to be honest, my life goal is to end up in a beach shack somewhere and paint all day. So if I can do that, I am happy.
So correct me if I'm wrong. This is because, again, I have no experience and I'm a noob when it comes to art. I think the closest I got to drawing was
stick figures.
What? Stick figures? Yeah, you know what? Pretty much. Like we can stay there. But is it safe to say that all designers like find their way to design through art, like through their love for art? Or do they know, okay, I want to get into the functional space directly and they just get into like design?
I think it depends. I think it really depends on from person to person. I'm sure everyone can find their way through whatever field. I've seen people coming in from engineering and start doing art. I've seen people coming in from computer science, from every field. And I don't think it's dependent on, your love for art. It's more, you just find something that you feel like doing and you just
interesting.
Get into it.
I mean, even for me, I believe, so like by 10th standard, I had a really good, score, and science and maths were like at the top of it. So the very natural choice was, okay, go to science.
Right.
So like I did that till 12th. And then I was like giving my entrances for like medical, engineering, law. And I was like, okay, Symbiosis also has an entrance exam for media. I'll give that a shot. And that's where I like just landed upon, like from science to transitioning to art later on. And when I got into the course and started doing a lot of stuff there, that's when I like, oh shit, I'm kind of good at this, much better than I would have been as a doctor, I guess.
Right. When we both mentioned earlier that it's been like 2 years since we played physical game or something like that, like it got me thinking, like, damn, coronavirus has been there for like a long time now. Like I keep forgetting about it, that it exists. Until I wear a mask on. But that's also like a year and a half.
It's been a year and a half. That's crazy. A year and a half, man. That's insane.
Bad. Yeah, exactly. It's I keep forgetting about it.
Like it's like there's this coating of despair that you get so used to, and then you're like, and then once in a while when you hear, like, my grandparents are listening to the news and they say COVID, I'm like, oh shit, that's a thing. I've been sitting in my house for a whole month. I've been sitting in my house for a whole month, and I'm so fortunate that I'm back living with my grandparents, because like in Bangalore, it was this small room, right, and I was sharing an apartment, and I was for some reason hesitant to but Zara, you're moving out, right? Soon. You're moving out soon.
Going back to my parents' place.
Yeah, and over here I have some space. I have some space, and my grandmother does some gardening, so there's some nature to enjoy, all that good stuff. But man, like I've come to appreciate the outside and nature so much more because I forget there's been COVID going on like for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, I know in the back of my head because there is that coating of despair, but like,
Yeah.
but you get
It's in
used
your
to it.
norm.
Yeah, exactly.
So crazy.
The
So yeah,
black
so I
plague
was,
of our generation. Oh, I
Yeah.
think
dude, the weirdest coincidence, like it's a random sidetrack. The weirdest coincidence is back when COVID first at least hit Singapore, was like I think March last year. So back then I was coincidentally playing this game called Plague, and I was like unleashing viruses everywhere, killing a bunch of people.
Oh
I
my
was going
god.
crazy. And then I hear the
Oh my
news.
god.
There's a pandemic.
What is
I
this real life karma?
yeah, I felt like I did this. It's my
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah. No, I remember I think this was a few months into COVID getting serious, and I remember watching Train to Busan. I think that was the one that I watched. And there
Right,
was a
right.
scene in that movie where they were all in the train and like the news was going on and the president was like giving directives and like, okay, look, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. I'm like, this is exactly how the president, like all these different, what I'm seeing on TV looks exactly like this. And it was such a surreal moment. I was like,
Dude, exactly. Like for the game in Plague, there are moments when the cases or the deaths in a certain country goes to a certain number.
right.
They close the ports and the airports and the sea and stuff, right?
Mhm.
I always thought that's impossible. There's no way a world could function if you close out the airports and the sea travel and shit. And it happened. I was like, whoa, this game was ahead of its time. It knew exactly what's gonna happen. So yeah. So I was wondering how has COVID affected you, Sarah?
I have turned my
Live in
life
Bangalore
into
right now.
yeah, I'm in Bangalore right now, but I don't feel like I'm in Bangalore right now. I'm in these four walls right now.
Right.
So this room is my life. My PC is my 24/7. I literally fall asleep with my headphones on sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Some Ready Player One shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a weird sort of change, but it's also it's also made it a lot easier to game for like 4 hours a day,
Right.
5 hours a day. So
That's
yeah.
true.
there
That's
are
true.
there are like YouTuber. There's this YouTuber called Some Ordinary Gamers, Muta, and he basically sleeps in VR Minecraft sometimes because that just helps him sleep.
What?
That's
Oh,
crazy.
this
Yeah,
It
I've
is.
heard of a lot of people like doing things in games to help them sleep.
Yeah, it's just much more comforting, like the whole nature and sounds
Yeah,
and
I think.
everything.
whoa.
One creepy anecdote I have is this dude. So have you guys ever played Doki Doki Literature Club?
Oh
Nope.
no! Listen,
Monica.
if you
Oh no.
Did we both? Did we
I think
I
lose him?
think
we
we're
got
both
I
stuck.
was so curious. He hooked us. I want to know what he's gonna say.
I think his
Okay.
electricity went
But
out.
like this, so there's this character called Monica, and she's essentially it's not an AI, but like she talks to you like about random things. You can talk to her about random things. And my friend just has that game on, and I think he has over 3,000, 4,000 hours in that game where he's just talking to this one character in the game.
What?
Like, yeah.
Oh
Is that his
Lord.
virtual girlfriend or something?
Yeah.
That's like her. That's straight a different version
I
of
know,
her.
right?
I haven't watched her, but another coincidence.
You
I
gotta
was
watch
going
that.
through Instagram. I saw the scene of Joaquin Phoenix talking to Scarlett Johansson's The Voice, right?
Yeah.
So there was a scene. I was like, "Where's Scarlett Johansson?" Then I realized it was an AI. That's how I knew the movie's about an AI. And then
Yeah.
you mentioned her now. Kind of a weird coincidence.
So
Yeah.
one thing I used to do to help me relax is okay. So I'm really into like water. Like I like being next to water bodies near the sea on the beach. So I used to literally just on this. So when I had the Switch when I was staying at my guardian's place last year, we had like 2 switches, and I used to just go on Animal Crossing and just sit next on the beach, like next to the water, just listening to the water.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes for me, like
It's
when
like, okay, I'm near the beach right now. I'm not in my room. I am not suffering because of COVID. I must be.
Malaysian. I do the similar thing. Like when I can't sleep sometimes at night, I put on my AirPods, noise canceling, and then I play. There's actually a playlist on Spotify called Raining. So
Yeah.
lightning, thunderstorm. So I play that and I just sleep, and it's so soothing.
Yeah, for me, instead of water, it's space. Like for me, it's space. So
It was nothing.
anything.
It was quiet.
No, so anything interstellar. Yeah, I mean, quiet. Yeah, pretty much. Like anything interstellar, where I guess for me, it's more. I mean, space with the ambient music, sound, and you feel the magnificence of everything, and the magnanimity. So
Wait, so you sleep to space? Like that's what helps you sleep?
How do you sleep to space?
no, I don't sleep to space, but a lot of the times, towards the end of the day, my brain has been in overdrive for hours. Just because I'm trying to do task after task, so I'm so used to being in overdrive that it's hard for me to like turn down. And so, in order for me to do that, I have to feel like I don't really matter, and the only way. And when I feel like I don't matter, my problems don't really matter. So the only way that I can do that is by feeling like I'm nothing when I look at stars and space and like planets and all that kind of stuff,
That got so philosophical.
No, but that's been my psychology that I was fortunate enough to discover, because like anytime when I was burnt out, or like I felt like I was getting really just too much to handle, it started off being Interstellar. I would just put on Interstellar and just watch that, and I feel good. I'm not it's not less about good and more about okay,
Peace.
like stop freaking out, because it's really not like that big,
Is
it
this
gives
why
me
you're
that
still
realization.
so hopeful about Star Citizen?
Yeah, no, for real, I'm not joking.
That's what I was thinking. Like, imagine if after a stressful day, you can just kick back into your spaceship and just fly out into space.
Yeah, and back in the day when Chris and I started playing, that's all we knew. All we knew was how to take off, and we didn't know how to do anything else. Yeah,
it took us a week to find out how to take off, how to detach from the launch pad.
Yeah, and my kind of pocket of relief there was, so it was a 15-minute de-stress for me. So what I would do is I would walk all the way to the hangar, get in my ship, I would take off, and then I will fly for a bit, and then I end my whole experience with what do you call that? When you like overdrive and you go into what warp what is it called?
Warp speed or something. Warp travel
speed something like where this
travel to the
thing
wormhole.
just the space just goes past you really fast, and that's such a therapeutic experience for me. But yeah, that's my alternative to beaches. I'm not a big beach kind of guy. Space kind of guy. Yeah.
I'm more of a mountain kind of guy. Mountainous, cold vibe.
This is like the four corners, like mountain, beach, space.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Space is outside the corner.
I feel like my comfort space is Ghibli movies.
Oh,
I just want to be absorbed into like that art style.
The little thing. It's the little
It is. I mean, it's 2D, but like it's still pretty well done. Those words.
I love Miyazaki films. I absolutely love Miyazaki films. He romanticizes or even the smallest of things, and it's just
It
like,
has
gives you hope.
Yeah, and it has such a unique vibe to it. It's mostly coming of age stories, but with like such a nature theme to all of that.
Yeah.
It's pretty peaceful to look at from time to time, but also very exciting. It's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. So
when it comes to games, I think a game that is like really doing the whole art style thing well for me, it's probably Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It has it basically does like the whole Ghibli art thing again. It's like cel shaded, but it has beautiful like environment response and stuff like that. So like when it rains, your footsteps would make like a pit pat sound, and that could probably alert like your enemies and stuff like that. It's a very well crafted world in that sense. So
There's a sequel coming out, right?
Yeah, I was so insistent on like I want this in the roundup and everything.
Yeah.
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 Cool. So I think that's pretty much the spectrum of the topics that we want to talk about with you, Zara. But I think a closing thought that we think it would be interesting to get to know opinions about from, I mean, with this podcast, we want to be able to talk to industry players across different spaces, right? I mean, content creators, gamers, developers, business executives. Um, but a common strain across all these different categories is that we're all part of the industry in the sense that either as a consumer or as a creator or as a developer or whatever it is. Um, and so, touching on the Indian gaming industry,
Mhm.
and as a stakeholder in the Indian gaming industry, not just as a gamer, but also as a creator now starting on. Um, what are some things that you like about it that's happening? And what might be some things that you don't, you know?
Okay, so I think gaming in India is still in its nascent stage. There's so much potential for growth because, especially, we saw that with PUBG Mobile. We saw how many people were playing that game over here, even though it was banned and all of that. I mean, waiting for Battlegrounds India. But like, we saw the potential that the Indian community has in the gaming field, and I have like some really I have great dreams for it. Definitely, I'm really hoping for it to kick off. Um, I see a lot of startups in the gaming field as well, Lobby Zero included, and I see a lot of companies doing a lot of good things for gaming, like AFK, like Nodwin, and I'm really looking forward to seeing gaming making a more marked presence on in the Indian community. Um, I see a lot of things where I'm not too proud of, like with the whole PUBG ban, with all of the IT issues that are going on right now, and say things like the Forsaken incident with Optic India, where that set back esports in India years.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tiny things that I see that are hindering our progress, but I see that progress and I see that it's gonna go there. I see gaming being a massive thing over here, and I'm really looking forward to it, definitely, as a stakeholder and as a consumer.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good answer. I think that's pretty much how, like, even I look at it. Um, I mean, obviously, the reason we decided to do Lobby Zero was also because there's a lot of opportunity,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
again, going back to the whole research that I was doing, the bottom line statement that I was able to arrive at is basically because I was having a hard time trying to define a problem statement,
Mm,
a specific problem statement that can be solved. And I
mm,
realized the reason I was having a hard time finding that specific problem statement is because there's such it's overflowing with opportunity that the
definitely.
problems are not exactly, it's being overshadowed, the problems are being overshadowed. Whereas if you look in the West, uh, the market has evolved to a stage where the problems are more clear, it's more specific. Like, gamers have been working in that ecosystem and have been evolving and
For a long
maturing.
time. Mm,
So there are clear problems that are beginning to arise that specific organizations or business models can address. But
mm,
I think in India, it's at such a nascent stage that we've got so much opportunity. There's so much opportunity
mm.
and so many voids that can be filled by different kinds of organizations, different kinds of business models. Um, so yeah, I think there's only one way up. I mean, there's only one way, and that's up for gaming. So in India, and I think it's fascinating to see uh, creators like you kind of taking that step into content creation because it's not easy. We tried the first stream that we tried. I was like, yo, this is exhausting. And I wasn't even doing half the work. I was literally just
Yeah.
getting on. I've got, we've got Chris taking care of the content management, uploading of the stuff, and got somebody else like the other time when we jumped on with the game nights with PurpleShrimp, you were the one taking care of the camera setup, the OBS, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So all I had to do was literally just jump on and play. But by the time I was done, I was like, bro, I gotta pass out. I feel so, there is an energy
Yeah.
drain. So it's
Yeah.
definitely not easy, and there's a lot of effort that goes into it. So for those that are really going the extra mile to make it, as a content creator, I think it's a great time to do it. And it's great. There are so many opportunities if you do it right, which is why Lobby Zero, the Lobby Zero label is hoping to facilitate it and also capitalize on it, because I think it's a great conduit and a great way to develop gaming in the country, because content is really where attention lies, and once attention is aggregated, that can bring out a lot of amazing, cool things for the market and the industry.
Definitely. Definitely. I'm so grateful for you guys doing this thing with Lobby Zero. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, the story's
Sure,
just
sure.
begun. The story's just begun.
Genesis.
And yeah, the genesis. And one thing that we're realizing that's really cool for Lobby Zero is that content creators like you are also starting out. So it's great. Like in terms of timeline,
Yeah.
we're at
Was
both
perfect.
parties. Yeah, both parties are in the stage of nascency, right? So there's opportunities for creators and organizations like Lobby Zero to grow together, and that's an amazing thing for the market
Definitely.
and for the industry. So yeah, so Zara, PurpleShrimp, thank you so much for joining us. We
Thank you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
it. Yeah, absolutely, and we're so excited to see what's gonna happen with the time that's coming. Lobby Zero has a lot of plans in terms of some really cool things that we want to do, and a big part of those plans are the content creators that we have on board, and Zara being one of them. I think it's just a matter of time before people start seeing some really cool creative ideas that we start doing. We've got a few things in the pipeline. Once they get validated in terms of ideas, we're going to be able to kind of scale them and do some really cool things with Zara as well. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. That brings us to the end of this episode, and the conversation with Zara. Thank you, Zara, for joining us. And
Thank you.
yeah, that's Lobby Zero signing off. Peace out.
Peace out. Link in bio for Zara's
All of
Previous
our
page.
stuff.
Oh, Zara's page.
Subscribe.
Yes, down there.
Yeah,
Click it.
PurpleShrimp.
Click
No,
it.
you know what? I feel like I should just give you a little segment to plug yourself and see
Plug it.
and talk about anything that you have in mind.
This entire talk has been about me. I'm so confused. You're really doing wonders for my ego here, Isaac.
but we have 87 subscribers right now, so that should cancel out a little more. We'll do whatever we
Here's
can.
2 subscribers for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
everyone click the subscribe button and the notification bell and the like and all of that.
all of it. So yeah, we'll put down PurpleShrimp's link in the description, and you guys can check it out. She's grinding Apex now. Do you have any more upcoming plans for the channel and content?
Some Valorant, Apex, Casual Gang Beasts,
Awesome.
maybe some indies soon as well.
Awesome.
Some Sky
Yeah.
stream with the entire
Ooh,
lobby.
yeah, I should totally do a Sky stream, no?
Yeah.
I haven't
And-
tried streaming from my phone yet. I could try that.
Yeah, you should. Maybe a couple of us can also get on. And
Maybe you guys
obviously,
could join. Definitely.
yeah, game nights with PurpleShrimp is also a real thing. So I think the last stream was the first time people got some, like I said in the chat, skillful entertainment instead of me and Chris, just wobbling around.
I got one kill. Woo!
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's closes the episode. All right, guys.
Yes,
Peace
sir.
out. Catch you guys next time. Lobby Zero is signing off. Bye bye. Cool.
Okay.